Hi, this is Zap, and welcome to the Reset and Zap podcast.
I just need a reset. No, it's not enough to press pause. I think I need a reset. I need a reset. Reset.
Welcome to the season finale, season 1 of the Reset and Zap podcast. I am your host, and will forever be Zap. And with me is my co-host.
Hey everybody, what's up? It's your boy TJ.
Can we just give a round of applause? Let's get this. Episode number 12. We did it, guys, of the Reset and Zap podcast. As a matter of fact, to celebrate and commemorate this episode of season 1, we got us here some sippy while we talk with y'all. If you guys don't mind joining us in celebration. Join us on this special episode. This is a very special episode as we give closure to the first season and prepping for season 2. It's incredible, and to imagine that this started not too long ago and we're already closing our very first season.
It's been a journey. It's been a good time. I've enjoyed it. It's been a lot of fun. Getting to work with my wife. I just like getting to call you my wife now. It's pretty cool. That's a new
label right now.
Yeah, I can do that now.
A husband.
Yeah. Ooh, that sounds good.
But in this episode, we wanted to, go back home, talk a little bit, open up, share our own personal stories, because it ties nicely into the creation and the birth of the Reset and Zap podcast. So let's just jump right into it. Let's go into our good old reset time.
Reset.
Nice. So in this segment, we're going to be talking about a very deep-rooted discussion, something that we've talked a lot, off cameras, but now we get to share it to the world. We get to open up to the world about it.
Yeah.
And the topic for this episode is, what do you do when you feel like quitting? I think this is going to touch somebody today. So if you are on the verge of quitting, you're feeling down, you don't know what to do, this episode is for you. Or if you know of anybody who is in desperate need of hearing something that will give them hope again, then don't hesitate in sharing this episode to that person.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and share this. Let's spread the love and the positivity.
Yeah, that's going to be the challenge of the day, as a matter of fact. I'm setting you a challenge beforehand, before we even start. Find one person you can share this episode to, and then just spread the love.
Yeah, I like that.
Love for everyone.
So let's get started.
Let's get started. And as a matter of fact, because it's our last episode for season 1, I want to let you start.
Oh, that's special.
Yeah.
All right. All jokes aside, though, let's get deep.
Let's dive into it.
Me, it's gonna sound harsh coming from me because it is kind of the way I've been. I've always been the tough love kind of person, but I would say the first thing is, when you feel like you want to quit, don't quit. And to go in more detail with that, I would say that, to me, giving up is a selfish emotion, because it's, you want to give up because of what you're dealing with, what you're going through, but you have to understand that your life is not just about you, and that you giving up will affect the people around you. Like, if I decided to give up on what I'm doing, then the people who depend on me, like my wife and my son, what would they do if I just gave up? If I'm being selfish and thinking about, I can't do this anymore, I don't want to do this, I give up, but I'm affecting the lives of people around me, that's not fair. I don't have the right to give up because too many people depend on me. So that is and like I said, I know that sounds kind of harsh, but I think that would really help you in the future. Like, think about if you gave up, whose lives would be affected by that? Is it just you? Or are you going to be bringing down other people because of what you're going through? So that's the first thing that I always say is like, how does your life affect others? Because we're not out here in this world alone. Yeah. Our lives will affect somebody. If you gave up, it's going to affect somebody. You have a mother, you have a sibling, you have a friend, you have somebody in your life who would be affected if you just gave up on whatever it is your goal or your dream is. So that is like the first thing that I would say.
Interesting. I think those are very valid points that you're bringing up. Wow. Yeah. You deep dived into this almost immediately.
I'm going straight in.
Wow.
I'm going straight in, man, because I take this very seriously because I personally... Here we go.
Yeah.
Guess we're here already, huh?
Let's go.
I personally have gone through a situation very, very similar to that where I felt like giving up to the point where I almost took my own life. So I was going through a bad relationship.
Okay.
I was not getting what I wanted out of YouTube. Like, I wasn't really growing organically. I had all these subscribers, but my videos weren't getting any views. My music wasn't going anywhere. I wasn't happy with my job. I wasn't happy with my life. I wasn't happy with a lot of things. And I wanted to give up. I wanted to let go of it all and just cease to exist, just to make the pain go away. And once again, like I said earlier, that was a very selfish emotion because that would have affected my mother. That would have affected other people in my life besides just myself. So I take it very seriously when people talk about giving up because I've been there and I know exactly what you're going through. They're like, oh, why are you being so harsh? Because I know. Had I gone through with what I wanted to do, I wouldn't be here today. I would not be alive. And the only reason I am alive is because of you. I might as well just go into it, but all this culminated into a night where I was driving along the road and there was this bridge that overlooks a dam. And it has this river that goes into it and it goes into the dam. And I pulled over and I was sitting on the edge of that cliff just looking at the dam and wondered what would happen if I just jumped over. I just jumped over this bridge and just let the water take me. What would happen? It would be over. I wouldn't have to deal with this pain. I wouldn't have to deal with the sorrow. I would be free from it all. And of course that was wrong because it wouldn't have freed me from anything. It just would have been taking the coward's way out, in my opinion. Because in time I've learned that the same thing I feel about giving up is the same way I feel about suicide. It's a selfish emotion. Because yes, it might take you away from here, but what is it going to do to your loved ones? For you to take your own life and them to be spending the rest of their lives wondering why. And the day that I was there and I was ready, thinking about jumping off that cliff and ending my life, literally moments later, I get a message in my DMs from a ZapCristal. Because to give more context, earlier that day, I had made a post saying how frustrated I was and how I wanted to give up and how I was done and I was thinking about walking away from everything, and everybody was, commenting and I know they had good intentions. They were, don't give up, but it was just not what I needed to hear at that time. Everybody was saying don't give up, but nobody was really telling me how not to give up or what to do or giving me any really advice. It was just don't give up, be strong, you'll be okay, like that kind of stuff. And I appreciate all the love and support people gave me, but it was you who really reached out to me personally and was like, look, I'm away on a trip right now, but when I get back, I want to help you. I want to help you, get your stuff together and get your YouTube channel straight and help you. I don't even know if she knew what I was going through at that time, but her reaching out to me and telling me she wanted to help me and help build, and not even knowing who I was at that time. At that time, we didn't even really know each other like that. And for her to reach out to me like that really meant a lot. And it gave me the strength to go on another day. And she stayed true to her word. And when she got back, she hit me up and was helping me build my channel and teaching me about thumbnails and video editing and all this other. And she really gave me that hope that maybe I could do something. Maybe I could be more than what I was. So I say all that to say this. Giving up is not really an option. There's always room to push forward. There's always room to grow. So like I said, think about the people around you who your lives may be affected. Think about your own life and your own dreams. If you give up, then what else is there? Like what is there else outside of giving up? You give up and then what? What happens? What do you do? Nothing? And also there's somebody out there who cares. So no matter how alone you may feel or how broken you may feel, there's always somebody out there who cares. So you need to think about them and pull yourself up. And in my situation, if it wasn't for Zap, like I said, I wouldn't be here. And I would have taken my own life. And none of the Reset Zap podcast wouldn't exist. And these new albums wouldn't exist. And I wouldn't be here to be there for my son now. Everything would be different. Life would be completely different for a lot of people. Your life would have been affected. His life would have been affected. My family would have been affected. My friends would have been affected. My fans would have been affected. Master Sword Music would have been affected. Like, I would have destroyed a lot of people had I done what I planned on doing. And ever since that moment, and I look back at it now, I can never put myself in that state mentally because I can't see myself bringing that kind of hurt and pain to people.
This is heavy.
Yes, it is. I gotta take a sip after that.
This is a very heavy, deep-rooted discussion. Honestly, I don't even know where to start. Honestly, I guess I'll start based off of a more recent life experience because I have kind of talked about this in the past already, and I don't remember which episode. Oh. How to overcome life challenges. We had kind of touched bases on some
a little bit.
A little bit. We glazed over some personal stories and decided to open up about it. So I'm not gonna go through the whole 6 yards when it comes to my story, but touching base on the most recent event that was life-changing for me. Let's just say I gave myself the opportunity to start all over again in life. And, during that time, I had been more than 2 years living as a single mom, raising a kid by myself. Thanks God I had amazing people. It takes a village to raise a kid. And
it does.
I luckily had people who stayed close to me and helped me, raise my kid during that time and guide me and help me walk through this journey called life, right? As any woman, you always have the hopes, at least that's my hope, in life, that I wanted a family. I wanted to be in a stable home and start all over again, have a good companion in life where I can, till death part, traditional love story. And, I decided to date. I opened up to potential candidates that I thought would be a good choice, and I had met a person in my life, and even though I was healed as a whole, I wasn't healed in the aspect of getting ready into jumping into a relationship. I think that was my biggest mistake, honestly, at that moment. Even though I was healed of past trauma and other baggage, I wasn't healed totally to restart a life with someone else. With that being said, I initiated a new life with this person, and things just weren't great. From the very beginning, it just wasn't great, but as any woman, you always have the hope and the idealistic dream that you can change people, that you can help someone change. And
We've all been there.
Trying to build this dream house and this family that I wanted so badly. I think I was more in love with the idea of building a home and a family than the reality of it, to the point,
No, I get it.
Long story short, over the course of the years, it wasn't even that long. It didn't even last that long. A lot of things were revealed. In that relationship. Things that made me question myself about my decisions that I have made in life so far. Things that made me regret a lot why I was where I was at that point. To the point that, I wasn't safe. I wasn't safe anymore. My kid wasn't safe anymore. We were in a very toxic environment. Partly because, like I said, I wasn't ready. I was never full-hearted into it. And I guess I learned the hard way. And when I chose the wrong person, that just added to the problem. So there was a time in my life that I lost my purpose in life. I had zero clarity, zero direction of where I was heading to in life. And it was very hard. I just didn't know who I was anymore. I felt like I had lost my own identity. So while I was feeling that way, I was doing YouTube. And I was just pushing with my videos and putting them out there and giving a false, mirage of everything's okay, everything's all right, I'm always happy, and there's nothing wrong going on. But I think deep down inside, a lot of people did know that something was going on, because I wasn't smiling the same way. I wasn't happy. And, everything was just business at that point.
Yeah.
So my emotions, I kind of shut them down. And I was just empty. I don't even know how to explain it, but that's how I was living. I was just living life empty. Yeah. So, there came a time in life that I had to sit down and decide if I wanted to continue living my life that way or if I was going to move on. It's just really hard to talk about.
I know.
And during that time, you and I, we were good friends. And for the first time, I felt like I could help someone and we could help each other grow and have hope. So, I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain. It was just, some events happened, and those events led to opening the doors for me to finally make the decision if I wanted to stay where I was at or if I was going to move on. So, which is what this discussion is about, Was I just going to quit, give up, and continue this, false life, meaningless life, or was I going to just reset and find myself again? And, yeah.
I'm here. It's okay.
I've grown a lot.
Yes, you have.
So, yeah. So I moved on. Got out of it. It was not easy. I really don't care what people have to say, honestly, because nobody will know the story but me. And I don't think a lot of people will ever know truly the details of what happened But all I can say is that I'm just glad I'm out of it. And that I'm in a much better place right now. So, what I'm trying to say is you're never fully lost. You just gotta look in the right direction. And once you find it, it's just gonna click. And once it clicks, deep down inside, you're gonna know the answer to your problem and what you need to do. Sometimes that answer might be something you're just fearful of, that you're just scared of change and you don't want to do. But if there's no other option, and that's what you need to do, then there's only one choice. Are you gonna do it or not? Luckily for me, I decided to do it. So yeah, I rest my case.
This is a heavy episode right
Yeah.
here, boy. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, this is a very I just think people need to hear about it because, YouTube wise, a lot of people out there think that content creators have their life well put together, but at the end of the day, we're still human beings that go through a lot of stuff that we never are going to fully be open about and reveal because some details are not meant to be put out there, period. I'm sorry, but it is what it is. There's only so much you can share, and for very good reasons why.
Totally 100%. Like when I had my big run, when I was, dropping 3 videos a week and streaming 2 or 3 times a week, and I was showing up on all these podcasts and everybody wanted to interview me, and I was talking to all these different people, and I really starting to get some buzz for the first time. What a lot of people don't know is during that whole period of time, I was actually homeless. I was living in my car or sleeping on a friend's couch or wherever I could find somewhere warm to sleep that night. A lot of people don't know, because I didn't tell them or show them, but I was dealing with a lot. I didn't have place to sleep sometimes. I didn't have food to eat sometimes. I would go to sleep hungry and wake up wondering where my next meal was going to come from. The whole time doing YouTube, nobody would have ever known what I was going through. Like, people judge you based on what they see on the outside, but they don't know what you're dealing with. And I could have gave up. Like anybody, most people in my situation probably would have gave up. I was recording music at my office at work. I was sleeping in there sometimes. I was struggling to pay my bills and to keep everything going. But I still managed to push forward and drop videos and do these interviews and make these videos and make this music and constantly pushing forward. Because if I would have given up, then what else would there have been for me? Giving up would have left me what? Homeless? Still homeless? Still with nothing? Still with nothing to my name and nothing to show for what was going on? So for me, like I said, it wasn't really an option. Because if I give up outside of that, there's nothing. So I continued to push forward, and I tried my best and give it everything I got. And eventually things started to change. And, through the help of, some friends, and of course through your help, I was able to get myself in a better position and start rebuilding my life. And it got to a point where it was time for me to make a change. And the whole move down here to Texas was a big change for me. Like, leaving everything behind, everything that I ever known and all my friends and everything that I've ever, I've lived my whole life in Virginia and didn't know anything outside of that. And, had I given up, I wouldn't be here with you. I wouldn't have all these amazing experiences that we've had. We've had, just recently our beautiful wedding and honeymoon, and seeing my very first opera, and going to my very first gaming con, and just having my very first family day, and going to the water park with you and our son, and just having all these cool things that I've never had a chance to do in my life, going to these museums and seeing these art museums and science museums, and like seeing things and experiencing things and doing things I never would have done had I stayed in the place where I was, had I given up. So it's like when you decide to give up, or you're thinking about giving up, you're doing nothing but limiting your own life's possibilities. Because you give up and then that's it. But if you keep going and you keep pushing, eventually you'll get somewhere. Like if you keep pushing forward, eventually you're gonna go forward. It's just that's simple physics. You know?
Yeah, I think also this not only translates to our personal lives, but just like all areas of life. You know, for me recently, and I'm glad we are able to talk about it in this episode, because now I'm able to expand on this. But one of those things that I felt like quitting, and I had touched a little bit about it on the past in the past episode, but it was when I felt like quitting YouTube and just overall everything, content creation wise, because I had a huge burnout and I had to take a break. I had never taken a break in my life. In the years that I've done YouTube, I have never missed one single video. That's how consistent I was. But you know, life happened and forced me to take a break. And I'm actually glad that it happened the way it did, because it forced me to sit down and rethink where I wanted to go in life professionally. If I had the same vision, the same mission for the channel, if I wanted to keep making the same content or do something else, you know, if there was projects that I have, you know, just left on standby that I always wanted to work on, but I just never had the time, nor the resources, nor the actual help to get it done. Because I mean, let's face it, I know I'm talented, but it's not like I know I have every single skill on the face of the earth. There's just things I don't know how to do, like how to build a website. It's just not something that's in my faculty or in my skills to do so. So no, I don't know everything, you know. So with the help of people, I got to see that emotional support. Because during my break, I really thought that people were just up and done with me. You know what I mean? Because in my head, I'm like, well, I'm not delivering the same amount of content, so what gives, you know? But that's when I had seen the most support, all the love, all the support, people just cheering me on, giving me ideas, telling me that they were there, that they were just waiting whenever I was ready to come back, to take my break. Like, people actually were encouraging me to continue taking this break as long as I needed it, which says a lot when you build a community, you know, of people just being understanding. And that meant a lot to me. And of course, with your help, you know, I got to figure out what I wanted to do, where I wanted to go with it. And because of it, I gave myself the freedom and liberty to reset, literally reset, to experiment, to experience freedom, to rediscover myself and who I am and what I wanted to offer when it comes to me, to my community. And those changes sometimes push away certain people, because when you finally reveal who you are, some people may not like it. But for me, it was exhilarating. I was experiencing true liberation, true freedom, because I was finally able to open up to the world and show this is who I am. With all my flaws, all my weaknesses, I ain't got nothing to hide. This is my story. If you're down and you're okay with it, then just come be a part of this journey. If you're not okay, then I understand. I can't even get mad. I can't even be mad. But then again, I'm not going to compromise anymore who I am.
And that's very important to staying strong and not giving up, And going back to something you said earlier, sometimes you can't be afraid to ask for help. Something that I said on a previous episode, that no one man is an island. We don't do this on our own. It takes a village. It takes our community. It takes our friends and our family to make us who we are, to shape us and mold us. And I think in this modern era, everyone's become so individualistic. Where it's like we don't see ourselves as a group anymore. We don't see ourselves as a human race anymore. Everybody's just kind of out here for themselves and whatever they can do. But none of us are going to survive that way. Humans have survived thousands of years by coming together. Even in the days of caveman, they built villages. They would come together and say, hey, if we all work together, we can survive out here in this harsh world. So even if back then they could decide that, hey, we're much better together than we are apart, then I think that that's something that we need to pay attention to and adhere to. You can't be afraid to ask for help or to reach out to others or to help others when you're going through. Because sometimes when you're going through something and you can help somebody else, it helps you too in return.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Give other people advice and you can hear that advice in your own head. Like, oh, man, I need to listen to what I'm saying to myself. And you'll be surprised how often that happens.
Yeah.
And at the end, like I said, at the end of the day, I've said it a million times and I'm going to continue to say it because I think it's important. It's not just about you. Stop thinking within your own self, within your own mind about just what you want and your needs and da-da-da-da-da-da. Sometimes it's okay to want things for yourself and to do things for yourself, but if you put yourself in a mindset of, I want to leave something in this world, and for me, that's my music. I want to leave something with this world that means something, that will keep my presence alive even when I'm gone. And if I give up now, then what am I leaving? I'm leaving up a legacy of failure. I'm leaving a legacy of quitting. Is that what you want to be known for, as the person who just gave up, who just quit? Is that what you want your name and your legacy to be? Because to me, that's very sad. And that's my whole point of my journey on this earth, is to leave something behind that means something. And don't give up. Don't do that.
Which can we just press pause? Just press pause. Okay. All right. Let's press pause, because let's give them some reasons to stay motivated, and what have we done to help us to not fall back in that old pattern of I'm ready to quit. What have we done? Maybe it could be inspirational quotes, it could be songs, it could be, drastic changes, habits you've done, you probably adopted in your life. What are some of those things you have done to help you move forward no matter what?
A really big example of this for me is when I got to a point with my music where I was like, I don't know what else I can do with this. I don't know how far I could push this. How can I do this gaming music thing? Like what else? How far can I really take this? And I was getting to a point where I was like, maybe I reached my limit of what I could do and what this thing could be. But what I started to do is I started setting challenges for myself. Is a big thing that I used to do. Like, can I do a song in this style? Or can I do this? And can I do that? And I love this one. But every time I think about this, this song always pops into my head. And it was one of the first challenges I made for myself was, back in the day, I'm a 90s baby, so I used to listen to a lot of music like Juvenile and Yin Yang Twins and that good old rump shaker music, you know what I'm saying? That getting, shake that thing kind of. And I was wondering, like, could I make a song like that using video game references as the core, like I'm doing with everything else, but can I do a song of that style? And then I started piecing it all together, like, all right, shaking, all right, you want to shake? Do you want to shake the butt? How do you shake? What is a video game reference to something that shakes? I mean, Rumble Pack. Okay, Rumble Pack shake. So, all right, shake it. Oh, she shakes it like a Rumble Pack. Girl, shake that thing like a Rumble Pack. Rumble Pack. Rumble Pack. Girl, shake that thing like a Rumble Pack. And it became a whole song, which is actually a song that a lot of people enjoy. And that was like the first time, and it was kind of silly, but it forced me to create something I never would have created before. So like now that's like a thing where I do now, where I'll set challenges and be like, all right, can I do this? Can I do that? I've even given you some challenges.
Yes, you have.
Can't talk about that one yet.
Nope.
But you'll see one of her challenges coming out pretty soon.
Yeah. Pretty excited about that one.
That's going to be fun. I'm actually really impressed with what you did.
Really?
It's quite impressive. You really pulled it off, because I gave you something really hard to do and you did it. So I'm quite impressed. But challenging yourself is a good way to keep yourself motivated. Like, push yourself to do something greater, even beyond just stuff like that. I would like, all right, what can I do better today? I can learn how to become a better video editor. So I would sit down with Zap and watch her edit her videos and get her to teach me things and show me things. And all right, how did you make your thumbnails do that? Well, how did you get that effect in that video? And how did you pull off this? And how did you pull off that? And I would learn all these things. So that's another challenge for myself. Or when I sat down and really learned how to actually master and mix music properly, or challenging myself to become a better audio editor or audio engineer, or a better singer or a better rapper, or pushing myself always keeps me going, because I always have something to try next. Like, all right, now that I've conquered this, what can I conquer next? And as long as you keep that kind of mindset, you'll always improve at what you're doing. Like, when I first started doing this music thing, I didn't know what I was doing. I was just putting stuff together, throwing it together, hoping it would work. It worked, but it was what it was. But now I'm at a point where it's like, now I'm actually properly learning how to do things and like putting out a quality of music I didn't even think was possible. So challenge yourself at all times to become better. If you keep challenging yourself, you can't give up.
So for me, it was mainly opening up more. It's not that I wasn't myself, because I've always been myself, but a different side of me. And I think the video that really did it, that pushed me out of my comfort zone and was very ambitious, is my video game healing journey. It was the first video. First of all, I've always wanted to create a format like that. I just never knew when the timing was right and what was it even going to be about. And one day, as usual, while we're driving to go somewhere, on our way there, we tend to have these, deep talks,
We always have good ideas in the car.
Yeah, for some reason, I don't know what it is, but it's like our best ideas always flow while we're driving. And I don't know what I was talking about, but all of a sudden, it just hit me. And I was like, I want to make a video talking about video games that heal. And you actually were the one who encouraged me in the car. And you're like, I think it's a phenomenal idea. I think you should.
It was absolutely genius.
And, we kind of left it like that on standby until one day I got the itch and I decided to do it by myself. You had never seen me, because the day I recorded it, you weren't even here.
I did not see that video until it came out.
Yeah, I didn't even want you to see it while I was editing it, because that's how much this video meant to me. And on the day of the premiere, I was so nervous because I just didn't know how people were going to react to it. And to this day, it's one of my best performing videos.
Yes, it is.
Just because I simply decided to open up to the world and just show who I am. Besides just, I like games and these are the games I like and I'm a gamer and blah, 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 It was more of, I like games, but let me show you a different side of me where games have played a major role in my life. That type of deal.
I feel you on that one because that's actually a journey that I'm going to be taking soon. Because with my next project that's coming out, All About You, I'm going to be opening up a lot of my life to the world. I'm going to be putting out my story in a way that I've never done through my music before. And it is a thing. It is. People don't understand how hard it is to just be that open and that honest with the world.
Being vulnerable.
Yeah. It takes a lot. But like you said, keep persevering, you keep pushing through, and you'll get your reward for it. You'll get that positive feedback, and of course there's always going to be people who are going to say negative things or be haters or whatever the case may be, because those exist. And actually, I'm glad that I said that, because that's another thing about motivation and keeping moving forward and stuff like that. Don't let haters stop you.
Oh yeah, no.
I know it's kind of a cheesy thing to say, but it is the truth. Haters are your motivators. Like I've said this to you several times, and I say it as a joke, but it's actually true. Like you ain't really doing nothing until somebody hate on you. Like if you ain't got no haters, that means what you doing, you ain't doing nothing.
Yeah, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah, if ain't nobody hating on you, that means what you doing ain't working. Because if you're getting any kind of fame, any kind of numbers, any kind of popularity, somebody is going to hate. It just is what it is. So use that as your motivation. Somebody, your music quality ain't that great. All right, well, I'm gonna make it better.
Exactly.
Just because you said that, now I'm gonna learn how to mix better, master better, and now next time I come back, it's gonna be even better. What you gonna do about that? Use that as your motivation. Sometimes, and I don't know why I got here, but
suck that lolly.
As a side note, that's not where I was going, but as a side note, sometimes people also take criticism as hate, and it's not the same thing.
Yeah, no, it's not.
Sometimes people are not hating on you. Sometimes people are just trying to give you constructive criticism.
Exactly.
Something to learn. I've had people say, hey man, like I like what you do, but you don't do this right. Like when I was learning how to master, a good friend of mine, I'm gonna give him a shout out. Shout out to my man LG.
LG.
That's my boy. We sat down and he was like, I was showing him my tracks and how I do things. And he looked at me and said, man, I love what you're doing with your music, but you're mixing completely wrong. Like your mixes do not sound good, and you need to figure out how to do it. And once he saw what I was doing, he was like, this is what you're doing wrong. You need to do this better. Like this is how you do it correctly. And once he's done that, it completely transformed my music. Like now my music sounds clearer, better, fuller, louder than it's ever have, because I was able to take constructive criticism. Like I could have looked at him and been like, man, you just a hater. You just hating because my music's so good and You hating on me, man. You just hating. But he wasn't hating. He was trying to show me and teach me. So like I don't want people to get confused and think about, oh, hate. Sometimes you can take what people say to motivate you and become better at whatever it is that you're trying to do. So don't always take it as somebody just being mean or hating on you. Sometimes it's people trying to help you. And there are sometimes people who are trying to hate. But in both scenarios, you can still learn something from it and use that to keep pushing you forward.
I'm glad you brought it up, because sometimes we're so guarded, we're so focused on defending our baby that's so precious to us that we don't even want to hear a single thing that's negative. But like you said, sometimes people can be just giving you feedback, and it's not hate, it's just constructive criticism to see you grow and succeed in life. Like there was a group where I used to be at, and I'm not gonna say their name out loud, but there was a group where I was used to sharing my videos on a weekly basis, and the purpose of the group was actually for everybody to watch each other's videos. And people who have been in this content creation space for a while would give you constructive criticism back of, hey, the concept was good, but I think you could have done this, or maybe it was lacking some text here, or were you concise and clear about your message, or I don't think the music fit, or if you do this video idea next time, I would do it this way. And if I was somebody who was completely immature, I would take that as, oh, you just hating. But for me, it's all about being 1% better within each and every video. So every time I listen to someone, it wasn't even only for the videos, it was like also for the thumbnails too. They give you constructive criticism for the thumbnail. So I would just have these nuggets of knowledge from everyone, and I would write down what they told me, and then for the next video or my next project, I would put into practice whatever was applicable and useful. And I have to say, it was always positive, the results, because I would see those numbers that would prove that what they were saying was actually working for me. So if you like it or not, it may sting and hurt sometimes, but you need those real people who are not going to just cheer you on all the time. If you just have cheerleaders in your life, you got something wrong going on. You have to have those raw friends, like I like to say, that don't care how you feel. They're going to say it and they're going to mean it.
Shout out to the homie 1,000 Star.
I think we all have friends like that. As a matter of fact, just because we're doing shout outs right now, I'm going to give a shout out right now to my bestie, Christy. Christy, you know who you are. Because that girl has no shame. When she has called me out a bunch of times. When she has to tell me something, she's like, hold up. She's quick.
Yeah, that's why I said shout out to my homie 1,000 Star, because he's been the realest one in my corner. Like, I'll send him a song, and he'll listen to it and write back to me and be like, T, I'm gonna be honest with you.
Kinda.
It ain't good.
Yeah. Scratch.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't like it. You need to do something different. Either you need to redo this song or you need to just throw this one away, because I don't like it. And that's my boy. Like, he's a Master Sword Music. Oh, he's an OG Master Sword Music member. Like, he's been there, one of the longest running members in the group. And he will straight up tell me, like, nah, man, I don't like it. You sound weak in this song. I don't like it. You need to come stronger. You need to do something different. But whatever you're doing right here ain't working, bro. It will shut me down in a second.
You're like, how dare you? And then the next day, you're like, you know what? He was kind of right.
It's kind of right. It's kind of right. It's gotten to a point now where like, I don't even have to do it anymore, because I already know what he's going to say. Like, when I record, I'll be like, yeah, 1,000 Stars going to tell me my verse was too weak. Or he'll say, like, I already can get the criticisms before he even gives it to me. So now when I send him song, he's like, all right, okay, you in there. Because I already know what he's going to say. So I already, like, when I go to record the song, I'm thinking, I got 1,000 Stars voice in my ear, like, nah, man, do it again. Record it again. Like, sometimes you see, I'll do a whole verse and I'll nail it, and I'll be like, nope. Do it over. Mm-hmm. Do it again. Do it again. Do it again. Do it again. I'll sit here and do a verse 5 or 6 times until I hit it the exact way I want it. Just because I know if I don't, 1,000 Stars will be like, you ain't do that verse right. So it's like, you need those, like you said, you need those kind of people in your corner that tell you, hey, you can do better. You don't want a bunch of yes men telling you, oh, everything that you do is great.
Yeah.
Because how do you grow if nobody tells you how to grow?
Yeah.
Or it's great, it's perfect, it's lovely, you don't need to do nothing to it. Now, how do you grow and develop? Because you can always be better.
Yeah.
So it's like,
a recent person who did it for you, that actually pushed you and challenged you, was my dad.
Yes. Yeah, that's very true. It's very true. Yeah, he did. He told me some things I could do to help get my mixes a little cleaner. And I took that advice to heart. I could have, like I said, once again, I could have been like, oh, he hating on me and da-da-da-da. But this man is an experienced musician. Like, he has been making music for years. Like, how am I supposed to? And that's another thing that throws me off about people, and that people really need to, like, chill out and listen. Is like, if somebody is doing the thing that you want to do, and they've been doing it at a level that you want to do it at, maybe those are the people you should listen to.
Yeah.
Because like when you were helping me with my stuff, at that point, you know what I'm saying, you 6,000 subscribers in, and I'm at what, 150 subscribers, and I think I'm better than you. I think I know more than you about doing this thing. Like, that don't make sense. You are where I want to be. So if you say, hey, your thumbnails is whack, you need to do better. Hey, you need to put yourself out there more. Hey, you can step this video quality up. Hey, your rapping is all right, but you could be better. Like, I'm going to listen to somebody who knows what they're talking about. Like, you can't, like I said, your dad has been a musician for years, been an experienced studio musician, engineer, musician, knows the music business. This man has been making music before, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
longer than I can even think about making music.
Yeah.
So, like, if he says, hey, man, you should try this and you should do this, you should do this, that's something I'm more keen to listen to because he's where I want to be. So it's like, you got to be willing to listen to other. How did we get here?
Yeah.
Man, I don't know how we got on this topic.
Yeah.
But you have to be willing to listen to people who know more than you. Because somebody's always knows more than you. Like, you're not the best in your field right now. Unless you're at the absolute top and the king of all of it, there's always somebody above you to listen to.
Yeah. And even the people that are at the top, there's always something new that you can learn every day. That's one key thing. Shout out to my dad. Because actually my dad, and I'll wrap it up with this, but this is one thing I always remember that my dad always used to tell me. Every single day he would wake up and he would tell me, you want to know what's the trick to never stop growing and always keep going? Never stop learning. He's like, strive to learn something new every single day.
Yeah.
And I've made it my mission that every day until life parts, I'm gonna learn something new.
I think that's a great spot to end on right there.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, because when they push you, then guess what? You're not gonna quit. You're always gonna strive.
Full circle. Ooh.
Yeah.
You brought it back.
Yeah.
You brought it back. You saved the podcast.
Yeah.
Oh, good job.
You're not gonna quit because you're always gonna strive to be better.
Got us back on topic, girl.
Yeah.
Oh, you're so talented.
It's the truth though, because like you said, you got people looking up to you. And if you take away from yourself, you're also taking away from them.
Ooh.
Yeah. So what a way to tie up the season finale, guys.
Season finale.
I hope you've already shared this episode with someone. As a matter of fact, round of applause once again. Thank you to all of our supporters on Patreon. A special shout out once again to Miley for supporting the podcast, to all of our crew, to the MSM family, to you for making this podcast sound sexy as it could. Yeah, this is phenomenal. Like, yeah, shout out to him.
Thank you.
But also shout out to me. You know,
Shout out to you.
Give me my flowers too. Okay.
I mean, this is the Reset and Zap, so
Exactly.
can't have the Zap without the Zap, you know?
Exactly. You know what I mean? And don't forget to leave your ratings. As a matter of fact, I have this proposition for you. I want you to go to the main channel, YouTube/ZapCristal. And under this episode, I want you to drop possible future topics or discussions that we can cover on this podcast. Any suggestions, any constructive criticism, any feedback of things we can do better to make this podcast enjoyable for you, but also easy for us, you know, because we want to be able to cater everyone.
Yeah.
So anything that you guys offer to us, we'll take it into consideration and see if we can even make it possible for our season 2 of the Reset and Zap podcast.
I'm so excited for season 2. I can't wait.
It's exciting times.
Yes, it is.
And to make this special, we're both going to close this episode.
This is going to be interesting.
Are you ready?
Okay.
And as always, I want to remind you to reset and zap for the week. Woo!
Nailed it.
Nailed it. Thank you for listening, guys. See ya.